you're so sad? You've got a roof over your head.
Bro, you gotta stop with that depression stuff. That's a white people thing.
Escúchame, en esta casa los hombres no lloran.
You all right?
It just feels like it's coming from everywhere.
Do you want to talk about it?
Thanks for hearing me out, bro. Appreciate it.
You can talk to me if you're feeling sad.
Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the world's center of racing, the Daytona International Speedway, where tonight the stars and cars of the Sim Racers Club Sim Speed Shop Premier Series will be running a 150-mile event. This one, a very special event for the entire Sim Racers Club family. Tonight they will be running the John Brown Memorial 150 presented by AJ Digby. This one in memory of his grandfather who recently passed away. We'll tell you a little bit more about John, and actually we may even bring AJ up into the booth at some point here to talk about John a little bit. But Patrick, we're getting ready to go qualifying here, and this one's going to be fun because we are going to have an actual driver analyst tonight. The TWRS puke of paint is pulling off onto the racetrack.
Yeah, this little car has been pretty quick through practice. I'm not as high up on the boards as I want to be, but I'm definitely not embarrassing. Embarrassing the TWRS logo. I'm gonna have to fix that keybind. Every time I shift, it shuts it off.
Let's see if this one's going to work here. Yeah, there we go. Patrick Bird says he's not embarrassing himself, is what the graphics show here. This place is, we're used to seeing sports cars around here. We run the open wheel cars around here. The stock cars have done it once in the real world. I think once, maybe twice in the real world. But it's kind of a place that sort of fits a stock car, though. It's kind of heavy acceleration, heavy braking zones, except for the chicane, the NASCAR chicane off of NASCAR Turn 4. Outside of that, kind of the Daytona we can expect to see from some of these other the cars that we've seen run here.
Yeah, I mean, the track is very fun other than that chicane. I think I'm going to blow that chicane every lap in protest.
That's funny. You're just going to annihilate the field here and yourself. The other one that we got to show you here, let me take a look here and see how the cameras look. But the other car that is on the racetrack, this is a new look for this race car. No longer the Chubby's car this week. It's the number 11 Top Ramen Johnny Avila Special. This one belongs to Tyler Seville. And actually, let's get the graphics up here so you can see where your favorite will be running. Not only is Tyler Seville running this paint scheme, but there's Hunter Waters running the exact same colors. Johnny Avila winning a couple cases of ramen, courtesy of Patrick Byrne 1 week ago at the Bristol Motor Speedway. And the picture of Johnny with his prize winnings is on the hood, rear quarter panels, and trunk, like the bumper, back bumper cover of the cars of Johnny Avila and Hunter Waters tonight. Oh, and Johnny getting crushed already here by Hunter going off at turn number 3. The International Horseshoe, if you want to be technical about it. And there's Tyler Seville going around. He's off the racetrack as well. Let's pick up the guy who has been incredibly quick here. Braden Carroll through the first 2 sectors cleanly here. He was up by about a second in practice. Is anybody going to be able to catch Carroll tonight here, Bizzle?
I am not sure. I saw him make a couple of silly mistakes there in practice, so he's got pace. It's just a matter of if he can keep it on track, which I think he will be able to when he slows it down for the race pace.
Yeah, seeing him go through the bus stop, I will never call that by what it is now called, by the way, so don't ask. But
still a mosh game.
No, it's the bus stop. However, that is different. That's the other probably key difference from the sports car layout to the NASCAR layout. It has those big turtle sausage curves in there. And those things will absolutely launch you a mile in the air if you're not careful.
Yeah, I don't like it.
I don't like them either. Over the start-finish line, new quick time. Braden Carroll, top of the charts, 1 minute 53.927. Slide that car through turn 1. Mike Larch going to be second quick, a half second back. Kevin Dick, 3/4 of a second back in third. Our buddy Bizzle, 1.8 seconds back after lap 1. However...
And I blew turn 1, so you...
well, there you go. Johnny Avila also is having a bit of an extracurricular adventure, we can see. Unfortunately, we're only going to be able to have 1 set of cameras to bring in tonight. I can see the feed, just not seeing the feed to our video switcher, unfortunately. So we're only going to have the 1 set of cameras tonight, but these are pretty fantastic. But we'll be able to keep an eye on some of the other things that happen on the racetrack out here for you over the course of the night. Our buddy FRS Drake is checking in the comments. Let's see, make sure we have the right... FRS Drake checking in saying bing bong. What's up, buddy? Yeah, actually, following this up now with didn't expect to see the Rose Course today. This should be good. I think this is either going to be absolutely fantastic or quite possibly a complete dumpster fire. And I'm not sure which it's going to be. Braden Carroll, by the way, setting another new fastest lap, 1 minute 53.176. Kevin Dick, a 10th and a half back. Mike Larch, a full second back. Let's pick up AJ Digby, sponsor of tonight's event. And let's get our images up here of John Brown so we can talk a little bit about John and like I said, we'll talk to AJ here at some point during the race when he is no longer on the racetrack. Oh, he's going to overshoot the bus stop. He's got to take the slow down and run the chicane through there. fairly certain that also invalidates the lap as well.
That is a firm. It does invalidate the lap.
Take one more shot at getting yourself through that chicane. Let's see who else we have on the race course here that we can pick up. Is AJ Digby going to practice the pit entry? That one's going to be a really kind of fun one to watch here, Patrick, because we will not have a stage break tonight, per se. And basically what that means is you're going to have to do your pit entry under green flag conditions.
Yeah, that's going to make it a ton of fun because, frankly, when we have cautions here at the road courses, they take about 10 minutes. They're not very fun to begin with. And then you have the whole field stacked up again on pit road where staying green the whole time, you have the overcut versus undercut advantage. However, tonight's only going to be a one-stop race, and really you're going to have to make it at halfway, so it kind of gets rid of the overcut-undercut a little bit.
Yeah, let's take a look at our point standings here entering tonight's race. If we can get the right graphics anyway. Johnny Avila leading the points 353 to 328 for Kevin Dick. $25 points the difference there between first and second. Hunter Waters going to be third at 301. Tyler Seville fourth at 290. Fifth will be Andrew Moore at 278. We're already through 7 races, so we're going to have 4 to go from this point in the season. I kind of feels like we're down to a 2-horse race here once again, Patrick, between Johnny Avila and Kevin Dick. Nobody else is going to be able to catch him, and quite frankly, Kevin Dick's probably going to need some help too.
Yeah, you got to remember, we still have a long year ahead of us. There is room for someone to have to take a drop week, maybe going on vacation for a week or two and sacrificing those points as we saw last year out of Johnny Avila, and that's what made that championship so much tighter.
Yeah, and that's the other kind of the big key that you mentioned is the fact that this is not it's a 12-race schedule, but it's also 3 12-race schedules happening at one time. There's a 36-race-long championship battle plus 3 12-week seasons. A lot going on here, that is for sure. But qualifications are over. It is time to show you the starting grid for tonight's race. And, well, quite frankly, no real surprises here, at least at the front of the field. Braden Carroll will lead the field to the green, followed by Kevin Dick. The time gap, 1.164 seconds, only about a tenth and a half separating those two. Row number 2 for tonight's race will have the Cleveland Wrap number 2 Ford Mustang of Michael Arch, lining up alongside the UMU Esport number 14 of tonight's race, sponsor AJ Digby. Row 3 will see the first of our Johnny Avila Top Ramen entries, brought to you by Tyler Seville. Normally he's in a Ford. Tonight it'll be a Chevrolet Camaro for Tyler, lining up alongside the Weiss Markets number 77 Ford Mustang of Andrew Moore Jr. Row number 4 will have the 27 Team Watson Racing Setups Ford Mustang of the Bisler Patrick Byrne, lining up alongside the JW Racing number 8 of Justin Rideout. Row 5 will have the P&P Lawn Care number 22 Chevrolet Camaro of Daniel Pinkston, hopping in alongside the Warren Tire Service Center number 10 of Lee Campbell. Row number 6, the number 41 Gunskins Toyota Camry of Tim Knott, and the 63 GM Goodwrench Service Plus entry of Johnny Avila. That Chevrolet Camaro, 12.5 seconds off the pace in qualifications. Row number 7 will be the Black Clover number 83 of John Moeller, lining up alongside Johnny Avila, number 7 Top Ramen Chevrolet Camaro of Hunter Waters. Hunter, the first of the cars not getting a qualifying lap in. Will Wursler and Troy Haight scheduled to line up on row number 8 will be a did not start here this evening. Tony Patton and the Canadian Sim Racers 23 of Richard Smith II will round out this 18-car field. I'm excited. I'm not sure how excited Bizzle's going to be, but it is about time to go racing. 150 miles, 42 laps will be the distance. The field going to get packed up through the tri-oval. Great flags in the air. We're underway in the John Brown Memorial 150. Braden Carroll making a great start. He's going to be your race leader down to turn number 1. Get you the look from the overhead. Don't see anybody necessarily having any issues here. Possible connection issue for somebody here at the front. Looked like, yeah, that was Justin Rideout. That car just kind of blinked and absolutely disappeared. Carroll going to hold on to the race lead. Move a little bit further back. This is going to be a good battle. Through the kick for the first time. Bizzle alongside Johnny Avila. Bizzle's got to back out. Now, I was going to say, you had to back out of that one there, bud. Well, and it's also not really smart because from what we understand, the tires are absolutely hot garbage on these first couple of laps. You got to get them up to temperature before they're any good. And doing it under heavy braking and driving like a knucklehead is not really the smart way to do that.
No, we're going to finish well in this race by attrition.
Early trouble here. Let's take a look. John Moeller having a bit of an issue here. Let's take a look and see. Also, Daniel Pinkston was involved in this one. Moeller just overcooking turn number 6. He gets that car back onto the racetrack. Let's see if we can see what happened here to Daniel Pinkston. Oh, caught the little bit of a hop curb almost. At the exit of turn 6, the transition up onto the banking. Not the way you want to do things as lap number 1 comes to a conclusion. Brady Carroll going to be your race leader by 1.1 seconds over Kevin Dick. Something we have not talked about yet, Patrick, is the fact that this race could potentially have a little bit of a strategy element. Oh no, as AJ Digby goes off the racetrack.
I had a little bit of an oopsie going into that second chicane.
Digby going off at the International Raceway. Basically straight line and almost all the way out to the tire barrier. It doesn't look like there's too much damage. He's going to have Tony Patton and Troy Haight following in close pursuit. So we were starting to discuss pit strategy here, Patrick, and it sounds like you're going to have to run an absolutely full tank of fuel. Hit the absolute last lap possible, and you can make it the entire way on fuel. It's not something where you have to do a ton of saving, but maybe a little bit is not a terrible idea.
Yeah, I'm not thinking saving is going to be an issue. I'm definitely going to take part in this. Right now,
On board here with Justin Rideout. He's going to have Bizzle right behind, and it's going to be Hunter Waters just ahead. Seeing a lot of Johnny Avila going through the S's there. Avila is going to be 4th, followed by Tyler Seville in an Avila car in 5th, and Hunter Waters in an Avila car in 7th.
And Avila's off in the second hairpin.
Yeah, there he is. Nice spot there, Patrick.
Oh, it was right in front of me. I couldn't miss it.
Take a look here and see what happened to Johnny Avila. Oh, slides way wide at the kink. Absolutely no way that car's gonna slow down. Able to keep it out of the tires though. He gets the little backup. Gonna join on the outside of the racetrack. Safe rejoin. Andrew Moore Jr. might not think so, but you mentioned, Patrick, you're going to gain positions through attrition. Not necessarily the worst call you've ever made from the booth. Let the mistakes happen when they're going to happen.
Yeah, like Johnny Avila trying to kill me going through the second hairpin. Oh, I saw that in my mirror. That car, you definitely put the intimidator on me.
Go on board with Bizzle. Makes everybody nervous seeing that black, well, 63. In the rearview mirror. Oh, side by side, beating and banging. Avila and Bizzle. Don't go through the kink too wide. Avila going to be the one who backs out that time. Oh, but he's going to make the dive into the West Horseshoe. Still seeing a little bit of smoke there. Yeah, this is a great battle between Avila and Byrne, but also Justin Rideout. Well, riding out just ahead of these two.
Yeah, I don't know if I can keep pace with Avila, but he makes another mistake like he did, and I think I can get him.
Braden Carroll having a little bit of an off track. That's going to start to close the gap. Well, but Kevin Dick going to open it. It's going to open up right back up again as they come through NASCAR 3 and 4. Stages tonight will be at lap number 10 and lap number 24, and there will not be a caution flag. So we're going to run this race about all the way through. And Patrick, the math I am seeing timing and scoring giving me is saying 1 hour and 12 minutes is likely to be the number remaining here as Justin Rideout blows the chicane on the front straightaway.
You're telling me I have to go through that chicane for another hour?
That is correct. There you saw it, Rideout just slides a little bit too late on the brakes. Straight lines the chicane, and that means you're gonna be basically forced to almost come to a stop there. He's gonna give up 2 spots to Avila and Byrne, and now he's gonna be fighting with Andrew Moore Jr. and AJ Digby. Bit wide. The exit of, I believe that's turn 6 onto the banking. NASCAR numbered these corners weird. Wait, what's that?
That turn coming back onto the oval is the best turn to watch the Miatas come.
I'll tell you what, we have to do one of those. A Spec Miata, that should be a TNT special event. Spec Miatas here at Daytona, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Oval could be fun. The Pocono Oval could be fun. But the absolute thundering herd that is the Spec Miatas is just fantastic. One of my favorite, every year, one of my favorite races of Rolex 24 weekend is Spec Miata. And the other one that gets it, I laugh every time I see it, the Spec Miata race at the SCCA runoffs, where they put as many of those cars on the racetrack at one time as they possibly can. I believe a couple of years ago in Indianapolis, it was 90-some Spec Miatas. The pole sitter was in turn 1, and the cars that were on the last row were still in the short chute on the final pace lap. It was just incredible. This is the tightest battle on the racetrack, by the way, the one that you're watching right now. It's 1.8 seconds between Braden Carroll and Kevin Dick at the head of the field. Mike March is a further 6.7 seconds back, 4.5 seconds to Tyler Seville in 4th, 1.3 to Hunter Waters in 5th, 1.6 to Johnny Avila in the 6th position. So we're going to stick with the battles that are good here this evening. And if I remember correctly, the number was right about 24 laps that you can go on a tank of fuel. So it's going to be really tight as to who can make it to the end of stage 2. And the big and that sets up there is who's going to earn the stage points. Because if we take a look at the live championship battle, Johnny Avila leading Kevin Dick by 31. As it stands now, Hunter Waters, 61 back, Tyler Seville, Andrew Moore Jr. Again, that's as they run right now. Take a look at your positions gained board. Hunter Waters up 9. He will be your hard charger of the race. Presented by Custom Paints and Die Cash. Johnny Avila up 6. Troy Haight, Tony Patton up 3. Richard Smith II up a couple of spots as well. Out with a big wiggle out of 6. Let's see if Andrew Moore can capitalize. Man, it is just so tough to get the momentum build up here, Patrick. It almost at this point in the race is kind of like you guys outside of this battle between Rideout, Moore, and Digby. You guys are a little bit in just kind of hot lapping territory.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're doing right now. It's just kind of pacing around, just trying to make up time. I picked up a ton of time on Rideout Moore while they're battling, but I've been losing a ton to Johnny Avila as well. That guy's
Moore bobbled a little bit through the bus stop. That allowed Rideout to get away and AJ Digby to come past as well. look at the comments. Yeah, FRS Drake is checking. This one just a couple of minutes ago. Can definitely tell the difference between the oval-only guys and the rest. Yeah, I would say we can agree with that a little bit. I mean, Braden Carroll, the dude is quick. 2747 iRating. However, that really doesn't mean all that much because on the road side of things, this guy is down in my territory of iRating. The driver currently running in the 4th position, Tyler Seville. Let's see here. I'm going to have to prove this one. It's... well, look at that. Doesn't give me the option to show the driver's iRating, which is disappointing because Tyler Seville enters tonight's race with a 540 iRating on the road side of things.
That's lower than mine.
That's, like I said, that's approaching my territory on the road side. Let's go on board here with Johnny Avila.
Johnny Avila is currently sandwiched in between himself.
That is correct. Let's look out the nose of the 63. And it's like he's looking in the mirror. I'll tell you what though, Johnny, that is fantastic. Look at that great shot of yourself. Oh, what a squeeze up to the outside wall, my goodness. There was not a car with the room there. Tyler Seville having to make way for the 63. We look out for that one. So lap number 10 is what the field is working right now. This will be the final lap in stage number 1. Presented by Northland Leisure. Let's pick up Braden Carroll as he's through the kink and up towards the West Horseshoe. That 24 machine has been fast all night long. Moonlight Speed Camaro up against the outside safer barrier at the exit of turn 6. See, like I was saying, NASCAR numbered these corners just weird. They did not follow the normal naming convention that everybody else uses. So I believe the bus stop here is corners like 26 through 47. And then you come through.
Yes, and that is due to the marshal posts.
Yes, that's how every other racetrack around the world gets its corner numbers. That's why places like the Kink at Road America are a numbered corner, because the marshal posts are numbered. NASCAR doesn't use marshal posts, as we could tell through their officiating.
Wait, there's officiating in NASCAR? I thought they just pulled something out of a hat, you know, here's the driver number, here's the penalty, and here's the reason why.
Yes, and that works until the appeals panel gets in the middle of it as well. Braden Carroll picking up the Northland Leisure stage win. Big thanks to them. You can find them on Facebook at Northland Leisure. Take a look at the rest of the sponsors as well for this one. Putting up the award for the fastest lap is Realty Executives Saskatoon. That one currently belongs to Brady Carroll with 1 minute 53.486. Custom Paints and Diecast putting up some cash for the hard charger and the biggest loser each week. Currently the most positions gained award going to Johnny Avila, +8 on the day. Hunter Waters also +8, but Avila running in the 4th position will be the guy who claims that one as the highest finishing driver. See what we can find here in the way of battles. Justin Rideout, AJ Digby, Andrew Moore Jr. The battle for 8th, 9th, and 10th on the racetrack. Patrick, were our numbers accurate, by the way, on fuel? What are you seeing there behind the wheel?
I'm seeing about 11 laps remaining, so yep, our numbers were good.
Yeah, the question becomes, can anybody stretch it to 24?
Not a chance.
Okay. Ben Carswell is tuning in. Noted sports car hater. Interesting, iRacing left the sausage curbs from last year in the NASCAR road layout, but took them out of the regular road layout. Hate those curbs. Yeah, because it's NASCAR accurate. That's how NASCAR runs the racetrack, with the big sausage curbs. They're hot garbage.
NASCAR administration likes sausages. I said that while like 90 degrees opposite line. That was pretty good.
NASCAR, please direct all hate mail to bizzle@nationalracingnetwork.com. Something tells me we're going to need the week off that is coming up here. Next week will be an off week. Come back the last week of April for a 175-lap race at Martinsville Speedway.
Martinsville Super Speedway.
Yes. That was, I love racing at Martinsville. These guys in the Cup cars, they're going to be fun to watch at Martinsville. Rounding out the spring season with 75-lapper at Talladega Super Speedway, heading off to Dover on May 10th for a 150-lapper. And then Kansas Speedway Oval, 117 laps on May 17th to close out the spring season. Well, let's see. Justin Rideout still has AJ Digby and Andrew Moore Jr. pretty close in tow here. Digby showing a little bit of damage on the left front of that machine. Can that come into play here, Patrick? I mean, obviously it's a road course, so not as much, but you're still spending a lot of time at full throttle on the oval.
Not only that, there are a lot of high-speed corners on this track that can't particularly need all of the air help you can get.
Interesting news coming out of the dirt world, dirt racing world here. Let's see, this was about 7:15 this evening, so just a little bit ago. Jason McDougal announcing his retirement from full-time professional auto racing.
Well, he's been doing it as long as I've been alive, I think.
Maybe not that long. But yes, Matt Newell been around quite a while, saying he's going to focus on family and also building frames, which is kind of his personal core business. In light of the incident that claimed the life of Justin Owen last weekend at Lawrenceburg, I wonder how many more we may see of these guys who kind of specialize in the non-wing sprint cars. It's just not necessarily saying they're unsafe, but it's just a reality check for a lot of guys.
I mean, they are unsafe. Sprint car racing has never been safe. It's gotten safer. We put roll cages on the cars for the years and catch fences up, but even still, it's not a safe form of motorsports. I don't think any of it is. It's just different degrees of unsafe.
Yeah, I would agree with that. By the way, we'll pick up the battle here between Mike Larch and Johnny Avila. The Cleveland Wrap #2 Ford Mustang of Michael Larch. Clock ticking down, a little bit inside of 1 hour or so remaining, seeing about 54 minutes or so left in this race. Slide back, Justin Rideout looking inside of Andrew Moore Jr. through the West Horseshoe. He gets that pass completed, going to set his sights on A.J. Digby. This battle between Larch and Avila continues to close up. It's now down to 0.3 of a second as they get to turn number 1. Call it 2.5 car lengths on corner exit. This fight happening 17 seconds behind your race leader. Tim Knott will be the next car to go 1 lap down. Let's go back to this battle again as Moore able to clear Rideout out of the chicane. He opens up a 2.5 car length gap to turn 1. Slides a little bit wide on corner exit though. Johnny Avila having a pretty big moment. He gave up about 0.8 of a second to Larch there just a moment ago. So field working lap number 15, still going to have about 7-8 laps to go until we get 2 green flag pit stops. And really, Patrick, that is going to decide. Oh, wait a second. Possibly trouble on the racetrack for Kevin Dick. He was running in the 2nd position. Let's see if we can see what happened here to Kevin Dick.
As I can see, he's still up there in 2nd.
Yeah, he just flat disappeared for a moment.
Went into the twilight zone.
Yes. But that was a long disappearance. And that is something that, that series administrators will be looking at here. See if we can see, looks like Tony Patton may have also had an issue here in the 86. Oh, he just straight lines turn 2. Wow, hard into the tire barrier. That was a big hit for Tony Patton. seeing AJ Digby may have had an issue as well. Follow this one down into the chicane. Tried to get around the outside. Wow, who was that?
Built in the wall.
Let's take a look. Yeah, let's take a look, see what happened here to Tyler Seville. Down into the West Horseshoe, he just straight lined it.
Oh, he didn't hit the wall. I was going to say, even with damage, he's faster than me, but he's got no damage, just a little mistake, a little bit of grass. Putting along.
That is exactly right. Back to live action. Pick up the battle between Mike Larch and Johnny Avila. The gap sitting at about a half second between these two. Oh, but let's go back here. AJ Digby and Drew Moore Jr. down into the bus stop. If you save some tire, if you save some fuel, this really is where, if you have it, you really want to try to use it. Get in there late and try to make the end of the run where you pick up a bunch of time.
Yeah, I've been shooting for just 56s lap in, lap out. I haven't been trying to pull off any strategy. I say that, and I just run a 55 flat, so I'm flying around here.
Yeah, Patrick Byrne, last lap setting his personal best, 1 minute 55.070.
It shows 069 on my screen, and I like that better.
Nice. Best lap, by the way, for race leader Braden Carroll, 1 minute 53.486. So still about a second and a half off of the race leader's pace. However, that last lap for Bizzle was about 0.6 faster than the race leader. So that kind of goes to the point. If you save some for late in the run, now's the time. Kind of smoke them if you got them and use these things up before you're going to hit pit lane. Let's see. Race leader Braden Carroll just had an off track, as did Kevin Dick. Trying to take a look at these race cars. Don't see any damage on either one. They will continue at the head of the line. The gap now back inside of 4/10 between Mike Larch and Johnny Avila. Right there. Large tries to close off the inside line. Avila's going to say, hey, I'll just try it on the outside. Not able to make anything happen. Had to back out of the throttle. Not gaining any time there. As Tony Patton back out on the racetrack. Oh, Large runs wide through the International Horseshoe. Avila's going to be right there with lap traffic just ahead. Both cars able to clear Tim Knott before the cake. Are they going to catch Tony Patton in the middle of the West Horseshoe? Patton runs wide, lets both cars go through. Avila going to lose about 0.3 in the exchange there. John Bowler swings wide at the exit of turn number 6. Going to let both of those cars through. So the gap back up to about 0.6. Let's pick up Tyler Seville and Patrick Byrne, the Bizzler. Running in 7th, only about a half second back at Tyler Seville. Oh man, that was smoky. Thus far, only one car out of the race. That will be Daniel Pinkston. That number 22 machine will finish tonight in the 17th position. inside into the chicane. Oh, what a gutsy place to make the pass. Seville backs out of it, put Patrick Byrne up into position number 6. Only has about 6 seconds now to catch. Actually, about 7.5 seconds. No, about 6 seconds to catch Hunter Waters. Johnny Avila, Mike Larch at it again. Side. Yeah, 154.6. Getting some good here out of these good years late in the run. Large gonna have the look back inside through NASCAR 1 and 2. These guys are gonna drag race all the way down to the bus stop. Who's gonna be the one to lift? It's gonna be Large. Avila really sends that 63 deep.
I think Seville's got damage. I just
let's take a look. Yeah, maybe a little bit here on the right front corner of Tyler Seville. And I wouldn't say you drove away from him that quickly, but can still see you in the shot. Gap 1.8 seconds between Bizzle and Seville. Avila opening up 0.8 of a second on Larch as well as the field working lap number 20. Are you still seeing about 2 laps or so until the pit stop?
Yes, sir.
So if you get to lap 22, that will make for a 20-lap final stint. Interesting. Johnny Avila's got a ton of rear brake bias dialed into that car. You can see those rotors absolutely glowing at the rear and not much color at all up front. Let's get a little bit better shot of that here as he comes through the West Horseshoe. I'll tell you what, I'm going to give a call here to John Moeller. Running in the 15th position, 3 laps behind the race leader, 1 lap behind Richard Smith II, who is the next car ahead of him on the racetrack. John is a military veteran, his son is a military veteran, and his grandson, just completing, I believe it's basic training with the United States Navy. Thank you very much, Moeller family, for your service. You know what? This is sometimes you're not going to be the fastest. You just got to be the guy who stays out there and gets to the end. You see him there, clear out of the way in turn 6. He knows faster cars are coming. Doing his best to stay out of everybody's way. Out here having some fun. Pick up the battle now between A.J. Digby and Andrew Moore Jr. Those cars are going to be separated by, we'll call it 5 car lengths as they get out of the chicane on the front straightaway. Field now working lap number 21.
Hunter Waters had a big off there in the International Horseshoe.
Yeah, let's pick him up here. He got around Tyler Seville. Maybe a little bit of damage on the front end of that top Ramen number 7. Is that something you have to worry about, Patrick? The transitions onto and off of the bank doing some damage to the front splitter of these cars?
I'm not noticing any damage. Definitely on cold tires, you can get a little loose and a little sketchy going through there, but not damage.
Yeah, actually, he may. Well, maybe not. Looking to see if maybe the left front of that car might be a little bit backed up. But that move gonna put the Team Watson Racing setups, number 27 of Patrick Byrne, in the top 5. Mike Larch and Johnny Avila both on pit lane this time. Patrick Byrne going to make his way down pit lane, as is Hunter Waters and Tyler Seville. Race leaders Braden Carroll and Kevin Dick do not stop. So a little bit of an undercut here. Oh yeah, there's a bunch of damage on the right front of the 7 machine.
Stopped in the box too early. Like a rookie, I haven't made a pit stop at iRacing in probably well over a year now. I haven't done anything serious enough to need a pit stop.
So we're going to follow along with Bizzle here as well. There you go, the 7 getting out first. Actually, the 11 going to beat Bizzle off pit road as well. So you've been beaten off pit road by Johnny Avila, and Johnny Avila. And his other brother, Darryl. These guys are going to be pretty close together, though. Waters, Seville, and Byrne. And like you said, Patrick, now this is where you really got to be careful on both times.
Yeah, I hope the camera wasn't on me almost rear-ending Johnny Avila.
It was.
Oops.
Let's see, is Braden Carroll going to come down pit lane this time? He will. Race leader is on pit lane. Now with a 16-second gap over Kevin Dick and nearly 30 seconds over Andrew Moore Jr. when he hits the pit road speed limiter, not exactly, he could actually come out of the pits either still with the race lead if Kevin Dick pits this time, and he does, or at least, well, let's see, if Andrew Moore pits this time, it's still about 25 seconds right now. For Johnny Avila to get caught up here. Braden Carroll down and away. 14.6 seconds, the time of the stop for 4 Goodyear Racing Eagles. 2 cans Sunoco fuel for the 24 Moonlight Speed entry of Braden Carroll. Kevin Dick down and away, 15.1 seconds. Andrew Moore Jr. On pit lane. Actually, he's right here coming around. Mike Larch coming around Andrew Moore Jr. as he is on pit lane. Johnny Avila is also on pit lane again, it looks like. Yeah, Avila in the pit box now. And, oh no, we may have had trouble for Bizzle.
Yes, I almost had a Denny Hamlin scenario. My TV was giving me an alert. It was getting ready to go in sleep mode, so I had to dig around on the floor and find the remote.
Blows the chicane on the front straightaway in the process, which means he's got to come to a stop and give all the time back.
Yeah, usually when I race, I'm smart enough to remember to turn the sleep mode off, but apparently I forgot to do that today.
Not smart. Total time on pit lane for race leader Braden Carroll, 33.9 seconds, 34.6 for Kevin Dick. That translates to a 2-second increase in the lead. It was 16 seconds when they came on pit lane. The gap now hovering is 17.9, 18 seconds, separating first from second. Let's see, we actually have a couple of battles that are within a half second or so. This one between AJ Digby and Patrick Byrne. Oh man, Tyler Seville just gave up a ton of time to Hunter Waters. He went from 7/10 to about 2.5 seconds back. We've talked a little bit, Patrick, about in the open wheel cars having to be a little bit careful with the tires. Is that the same thing that we see here as you're making a pass on AJ Digby?
Yeah, having tires really matters. These tires fall off similar to the sports car tires, where they get better over the course of the run on the road course here. I don't know if you're using a similar compound. We're sliding a little bit.
Ben Carswell, if you're watching, your idea for TNT After Dark tonight is terrible. He's voting for either a 34 Legends cars at a road track or anything at Bathurst.
They're actually really fun on the road courses.
Could be.
Definitely.
I'm thinking, yeah, I would agree with that. They are fun to whip around. I will say, though, I'm thinking a little bit more brainless in terms of at 11 o'clock.
Around iRacing Speedway.
That could be just dumb enough. Just saw there Bizzle getting around AJ Digby. That's going to be for the 6th position. The gap opening up a little bit on Tyler Seville. Let's slide up the racetrack here and pick up Seville and Hunter Waters, making their way out of the chicane and through the tri-oval. As we are working lap number 25 of 42. Only 18 laps remaining. Braden Carroll absolutely putting a hurting on this field. The gap now over 19 seconds. Mike Larch holding on to a 5.2 second advantage. Excuse me, 5 seconds back, I should say, of Kevin Dick for third. Let's take a look here. This happened right in front of AJ Digby. Oh, Troy Haight almost got the back end of Bizzle. Haight loops it around. Oh, a little bit of a scrape from Andrew Moore Jr. He gets the car off the racetrack. Little kiss into the Armco. And elects to take the tow back to pit lane.
Yeah, I'm going to need a new pair of pants. You all have my email by now for all the hate mail, so if anyone wants to send me a gift card to Hate get some of those blue light specials.
Braden Carroll goes new fastest lap of the race. How about this one, Bizzle? 1 minute 52.999.
There's just no way.
Yeah, Braden Carroll is flying around this place. And this is the closest fight on the racetrack once again. AJ Digby and Andrew Moore Jr. This one is wide enough we have to go to the overhead. And that's the closest fight on the Speedway. There is nobody close to each other at this point. I would imagine, Patrick, down to 17 to go, this is one of those times where you maybe losing focus happens. There's a lot that can go on that's just, quite frankly, not good for these drivers.
Yeah, this is a very difficult track to run because every corner is so different and the big straightaways are so short that you don't really have time to take a break. That's one thing the IMSA drivers, or all the sports car drivers complain about when they do this. This race is so much harder than Le Mans. Because Le Mans, you have that long straightaway, you can stretch your hands out, you know, kind of stretch your shoulders a little bit.
Oh, buddy.
There's no chance to do that.
Justin Rideout doing a little curb hopping. Got that car spun around backwards. I don't think there's much damage there. Kevin Dick on pace to do a personal best. Currently sitting 1.3 seconds ahead of his personal best. If he keeps this pace up, it could be a new fastest lap of the race. We'll see, though. Giving back some time here as he heads through the chicane on the front straightaway. Only a couple hundredths off of his best lap time of the race. So Kevin Dick doing pretty well. Unfortunately, actually that time almost a full second faster than Braden Carroll too. Last lap 154.4 for Carroll, 153.6 for Kevin Dick. But the gap is still 18 seconds. Andrew Moore Jr. making his way around the 4 of Lee Campbell. Campbell being scored 1 lap down in the 11th position. Actually, we forgot to show this one here. Braden Carroll picking up the Northland Leisure stage win in stage number 2 as well here tonight. Good fight now between Byrne, Digby, and Moore. That fight is closed up in a hurry.
Kind of distracted here on my end.
That's comical.
It's like if you were driving a car and every time you turn the wheel, the horn went. And then sometimes the turn signal.
It's funny that you say that. My mother took her driver's test in a 1969 Volkswagen Beetle that a family member swapped out the steering wheel that was original to the Beetle for a little, like the 7-inch round wheels they used to run in the car, and just jammed all the wiring inside the steering column. So every time you made a left-hand turn, the horn would honk. And in order to get the car to start, you would have to get out and tap every little thing in the engine, including the starter, with a rubber mallet, and then you could get the car to fire up.
Das Auto.
Yes. The most Volkswagen Beetle of Volkswagen Beetles. Ooh, that was a big wiggle through the S's. It's not on screen or anything.
You know I can see the screen. I'm a little preview monitor. I've totally been watching everyone else during the race too.
Patrick trying to figure out who he's going to go full torpedo on at some point.
Yeah, for check the flag. Might be able to attenuate.
Let's take a look here. Tim Knott may have had some issues here getting out of the bus stop. Oh! Big up over the curbs. Actually, if I remember correctly, we saw Johnny Avila do that the last time we were here, and it was hilarious. That was a battle for position, maybe even for the win over the last couple of laps. Absolutely terrible. Right now, nobody is battling for the win. Gap at 18.7 seconds for Braden Carroll over Kevin Dick. Another 10 back, Mike Large in third. 12.2 back to Hunter Waters in fourth. Tyler Seville in fifth, 2.7 back. Patrick Byrne in the sixth position, 7 seconds back of Tyler Seville. 14 laps and about 25 and a half minutes remaining here at the Daytona International Speedway for the John Brown Memorial 150, presented by AJ Digby. AJ, that number 14 machine, the one we're following along with here. Had his grandfather pass away just a couple of weeks ago, and picked up a big-time podium finish 1 week ago in the Bizzle Bowl 200 at the Bristol Motor Speedway. Deciding to pick up the event sponsorship tonight in honor of his grandfather. And not putting in a terrible run here. I tell you what, Patrick, this is one of those places that you make a little mistake, it costs you a lot of time, and it feels like it just takes forever to claw it back.
Yeah, I was clawing back at Tyler's Spill a little bit. I saw the number get back down to about 6 seconds, and now I've lost it again. So.
Sometimes the hard part is you don't know where you lost it either.
Yeah, so hopefully we get some attrition in the top 5. I'll be satisfied with 6
Well, you just see Bizzle there right up underneath the race headline graphics as we follow along from the NRN drone with AJ Digby. He is going to have Andrew Moore Jr. just back behind. Oh, big off the curbs. Oh, and he goes around.
Well, I asked for attrition in front of me, but I guess I'll take it behind me too.
I'm not going there. There's just too many jokes to possibly make there, all of which would get me in trouble. So we're just going to stay away from it. Let's take a look, though, and see what happened here to AJ Digby. Just caught a little bit of the curb and, man, pitches the car up in the air. And at that point, you've got to be on the throttle, and the car just snaps around. Johnny Avila, I believe, had a penalty to serve here at some point, because Avila just coming around AJ Digby for the 8th position, and Avila is showing as having made 2 stops. This is not the night that Johnny Avila wanted to have. Show your current standings as they sit. Kevin Dick, 31 points back, 60 to Hunter Waters, 72 Thomas Seville, 86 to Andrew Moore Jr. Although I don't think that's updating correctly on us here, because the gap was only 25 to begin with. Kevin Dick running 2nd, Johnny Avila running 8th. Not factoring in any stage points, it's going to be at least a 6-point gain for Kevin Dick as it stands right now. And both of those guys hard on the curbs. Seeing some purple flashes out of Braden Carroll at the front of the field in terms of pace for the lap. He could go faster than the 152.9 he put up a handful of laps ago. Just so smooth through that chicane. Down to 11 laps to go, this time by for Braden Carroll. Last lap, a 1 minute 53.1 for Braden Carroll. Not far off of his best lap of the race at a 152.9. That one presented by Realty Executives Saskatoon. Let's kind of run you through the field here a little bit. Braden Carroll has led every lap from the drop of the green flag here tonight. Was fastest in practice, won the pole, could win the race with the fastest lap, and pick up the Grand Slam here this evening. We should put up a sponsorship for those. Somebody wins a grand, pulls off a Grand Slam in one of these, put $5 or something on it for the night, little extra cash for it. We say that, Johnny Avila's going to think he can buy more ramen. Kevin Dick running in the second position, best lap of the race, 1 minute 53.332 seconds. And kind of the same story. Kevin Dick, quick in practice, qualified second, runs second. Been an all-around good night there for the number 52. This guy, Michael Larch, running in the third position, had, quite frankly, a pretty epic battle with Johnny Avila right before the cycle of pit stops. After the cycle of pit stops, came out about 45 seconds ahead of Avila. So Larch now running all by himself. It's still 11 3/4 seconds back to this car. Hunter Waters running in the fourth position. Actually, I think this could be the first time all season that we do not have a Will Horsler racing car on the podium as it stands right now. Waters currently running in the fourth position. Back in fifth, the second. Oh, and he's going to go around. Tyler Seville spins, does like a little half spin off the final corner out of the chicane. That's going to give Bizzle a chance to catch up here. Another unforced error for Tyler Seville. And here's Patrick Berg closing quickly, now down to 2.7 seconds back. The Team Watson Racing Setups Puke of Paint livery. That's what I'm calling that thing.
It's graffiti.
It's graffiti, but Puke of Paint sounds better. And quite frankly, more Team Watson Racing.
Ah, yes.
Bizzle, the road course ringer, who's going to ring himself up maybe a top 10 finish if he's lucky.
That's better than most ringers do in real world.
That's true. We did not see a ton out of the dirt ringers this past weekend at Bristol Motor Speedway. Same deal on the road courses as well. Running in the seventh position, not far back of Bizzle, 1.2 seconds, going to be Andrew Moore Jr. Moore has had a little bit of an adventurous run here tonight, although the car has not been damaged in any way, but kind of going forward and backwards a little bit from where he started the night. Running in the eighth position, just back behind Moore, is Johnny Avila. I believe I'm going to call it a pit road speeding penalty. That's my guess, because he lost about 45 seconds in the exchange of pit stops. That 63 Good Reg Service Plus machine just not having the night that Avila would have hoped for. Running in the ninth position is event sponsor AJ Digby. We'll get to talk to AJ. If he doesn't have an issue here that knocks him out of this race, we will be doing an interview with AJ Digby in the post-race to talk about his grandfather, John Brown, and the entitled sponsorship of tonight's race, the John Brown Memorial 150. Finally, in the 10th position, last car we're going to take a look at, about to be the first car one lap down, is the number 8 of Justin Rideout. He's had a couple of loops to go around this evening as well. Going to run the high side through NASCAR 3 and 4 as the race leader, Braden Carroll, comes past. Just to right out the final car inside the top 10. Johnny Avila having the look on Andrew Moore Jr. through the West Horseshoe. Gets that pass completed without issue. Johnny Avila, if you're listening, I can't tell you that I would pay you to dump Bizzle because, well, there are penalties that come from the league. But post-race, feel free to tee off on the 27th. I'll tell you what, Patrick, the fight back here by Johnny Avila could mean something in the long run as well. Because we went to the final race of last season after a full, I think, 24-race schedule with a virtual dead heat in the points between Johnny Avila and Kevin Dick. It's going to be close again this season. Every spot you pick up here on a bad night could mean big things come later in the season.
Yeah, you have to make every single lap count. Even if you had a bad night, you have to go out there and not make it a worse night. I'm going to try and make his life a little difficult, though. I don't want to let him buy me.
Both of them are off the racetrack. Byrne able to keep the car straight. I don't think Johnny Avila can say the same thing. That car hard into the safer barrier inside. Avila just now getting back out onto the racing surface.
Well, that was a move.
That was a thing. There's the hip check from Avila on the Hot Shoe Raceway instant replay. There's Johnny Avila just getting back out onto the racing surface. Oh, and then Avila overcooks the chicane on the front stretch. We just talked about not making a bad night worse. 2 mistakes in 1 lap, and he's going to give up 2 or 3 positions.
Oh man, I don't think there was any way he was going to make that quarter, because I braked about 200 feet after my usual mark, and he was still coming on me like a freight train.
Well, the intimidate button was in full effect. I'll tell you what, it's bringing Andrew Moore into the discussion here. In this fight, 46th position.
I've got a little bit of damage. Definitely knocked the toe out of the left rear there. So.
Well, we were just talking about that. Independent rear suspensions, and quite frankly, cars with toe links and things that are about as fragile as glass. The slightest bit of contact can kind of screw up your night.
Yeah, I mean, the car definitely feels a little more stable on the road courses, but it's not much different. And it is a sequential transmission. The way you shift is about the same, so I'm lift for the upshifts, lift for the downshifts. So really, the speed of the shifts is about the same as the H-back.
A little bit wide through the chicane there was Patrick Byrne as we are down to 6 laps to go. The gap now up over 20 seconds for Braden Carroll over Kevin Dick. Gap now still sitting right about a half second between Byrne and Moore. And any trouble up ahead could put Bizzle inside the top 5 for what I believe is a series debut in the Sim Racers Club Premier Series. Have you run? I don't think you've run the Premier Series before, have you?
I have not run the Premier Series. I have run the Winter Series. I run the best motor finish there, but nothing of the sorts in the Premier Series. I haven't run this one. I've actually never run the Next Gen before either. Oh, and Moore is into the wall.
Moore hard into the outside safer barrier, exiting the chicane. Nose first into the chicane. We'll see if he's going to be able to keep that car moving, but take a look, the Hotchi Raceway instant replay, see what happened. Big time glow out of the rear brakes, just a little bit of curb, and that was enough to absolutely drill the outside safer barrier. We'll see if he's going to be able to finish this race. But now with 5 laps to go, it's basically outside of a mistake. Got to kind of lock the field in here. AJ Digby sitting about 2 seconds back of Byrne.
Easy to pick up some pace on me. I just noticed my fuel numbers. I don't know if anyone else is seeing what I'm seeing, but it's going to be close.
Yeah, if you got to lap 22, you were going to have 20 laps to go. So it shouldn't be super tight.
I only got the 21 as the toast of the field.
That's going to be very tight on fuel. As both Bizzle and Digby have it off track.
Yeah, I can live with this.
Let's see what happened here with Braden Carroll. This is coming up to the West Horseshoe. Oh, big lockup. Able to keep it on the tarmac, but that's given back a bunch of time. I say a bunch, it's about 2 seconds worth, which has the gap now down to 18, now 19 seconds still is the race lead. And that's something that iRacing does not do. It does not model flat spotting of tires, and it really doesn't model even the lockups all that well.
Yeah, it models brake fade, but not to the extreme level that you might notice in a real car. After a race like this, I find I'm pushing the pedal maybe 5%. Just enough.
The lockup from Carroll would have absolutely necessitated new front tires if this were a real-world event. But it's not going to make much of a difference here, as we'll pick up the race leader down to that West Horseshoe another time, as we are down to 3 laps to go, and this has been a dominant performance out of Braden Carroll. The biggest thing I'm noticing in following this car, it's just absolutely smooth through the corners. And I don't think he's going to have any concerns about fuel either. Last lap, 1 minute 55.647, almost 4 seconds slower than his best lap of the race. And if you're Carroll, back the pace down, make sure you're going to get there. No reason to have to come in and do a splash and dash. Yeah, got the extra lap. What are you seeing in terms of fuel numbers here?
About 3.5 gallons. So, 3 more laps.
Well, we're down to... I was going to say, down to 2 laps to go here for the race leader. And we're showing you the leader because there's nobody else battling on the racetrack right now. Closest fight is Patrick Byrne versus AJ Digby. That's at 1.8 seconds. 3 cars officially out of the race. That will be Daniel Pinkston finishing 17th. Tony Patton finishing in the 16th position. And Troy Haight, who will finish in 15th. A little bit more glow towards the rear in terms of the brakes for the race leader. There, you got a good look of it. Down into turn number 6. Not nearly as much color on the front rotors. And that's kind of what you would expect here, Patrick. You're going to turn the brake bias back, in some cases, a lot towards the rear, depending on how much brake you want to have to use going into the corners.
Other than what I did in the garage race, I have not touched it during the course of the race. But I've had a little too much going on during the course of the race to even think about turning it. As I blew turn 1, but so did AJ Digby, so I don't have to work with you.
Yeah, you got a handful over there, bud. I've had you up on the second screen all night here, and you've had some adventures.
Yeah, this car is getting a little rough. The temperature in my room right now is about 93 degrees. I don't know why I turned the lava lamp on by my feet. And the remote for the air conditioner is a little too far away to reach.
Well, I am going to agree with you. Now, we do not have heat running here. However, all of these electronics that make the broadcast possible put off an incredible amount of heat. To the point that when our offices move, upstairs to their permanent home, they will have a window unit air conditioner installed because it is just too darn hot down here. But the white flag is out. 1 lap to go with the John Brown Memorial 150 presented by AJ Digby. Braden Carroll, your race leader, by 19.5 seconds over Kevin Dick. 3rd place, Michael Larch, almost 50 seconds. In fact, he now is 50 seconds behind your race leader.
Managed to reach the AC remote, so we're going to live through this one.
Johnny Avila getting around Andrew Moore Jr. Let's pick this one up. See, Moore may have had an issue here, either out of or through the bus stop. Oh yeah, big wiggle on quarter exit. That's going to let your race leader come by. through the bus stop for the final time. Braden Carroll, not a concern in the world. Out of the NASCAR chicane. Little bit of a wiggle, but checkered flag goes in the air. Braden Carroll wins the John Brown Memorial 150 at Daytona. Just coming off of NASCAR turn 4 is Kevin Dick. Right up behind John Moeller. He can take this one easy, though, down over the start-finish line. And Kevin Dick going to do what he needed to do tonight, pick up a second-place finish. That's going to help the gap in points. Mike Larch just out of the bus stop. 52 and change seconds back of your race winner.
Oh man, Digby is right on my rear bumper.
Yes, he is. Checkered flag will go in the air for Mike Larch. Let's pick up Patrick Byrne and AJ Digby. This is the battle for the 6th position. Digby goes wide. He's going to try to cut down inside of the chicane. Oh, Bizzle runs it a little bit wide, but I think he's going to get away with it. Underneath the checkered flag, he's up by the outside wall. And Patrick Byrne going to come home in the 6th position. Just ahead of AJ Digby. There's Johnny Avila coming over the line to finish in the 8th position. Andrew Moore crosses the line to finish 9th. And the final car that will finish tonight's race, Richard Smith II. He's out of the chicane and under the checkered flag, and that will wind up tonight's John Brown Memorial 150. In fact, Richard Smith decides, screw it, I'm not even doing the cool down lap. I'm out of here. Hooks the Yui and back up pit lane the opposite way. Let's pick up your race results here. In Braden Carroll, burning them down on the front straightaway. The winner by nearly 22 seconds over Kevin Dick. That is dominant. Michael Larch coming home third, 54 seconds back to round out your podium finishers. Hunter Waters and Tyler Seville put a couple of Johnny Avila top ramen cars inside the top 5. 6 through 10 going to be Patrick Byrne, A.J. Digby, Johnny Avila, Andrew Moore Jr., and Justin Rideout finishing in the 10th position, 1 lap down. 11 through 18 will be Lee Campbell, Tim Knott, Richard Smith II, John Moeller, Troy Haight, Tony Patton, and Daniel Pinkston. Will Worsler was a did not start here for tonight's race. I don't believe, with him not qualifying and not attempting a lap in the race, I don't think he earns any points for tonight either. But we'll confirm that one with the series admins. Let's take a look here and see who we have that we can talk to. Well, here we go. We have a race winner we're going to be able to talk to, that's for sure. Let's...
I will be stepping away. I need a beverage.
Let's pick up our race winner tonight here, Mr. Braden Carroll. And man, I'll tell you what, Braden, the car was good. You pick up the Grand Slam here tonight. Race practice win, qualified on the pole, fastest lap of the race, presented by Realty Executive Saskatoon. Both stage wins and the race win. I don't think you could have asked for anything more here tonight.
I really don't. It was definitely a good race. I was hoping Kevin would have had a little more for me, to be honest, but I think he picked up a little bit of damage. And he told me he was trying to save a bunch of fuel because he wasn't sure if we could make that one stop.
Yeah, that's it kind of feels like that was sort of the theme of the night was once you knew you were good on fuel, you were going to be good to make it a one-stopper, but you had to hold back a little bit, and the biggest thing it seemed like was keep the car out of trouble.
Oh, out of trouble. That was, yeah, that's for sure. I somehow managed to get no incidents that whole race. I just wanted to keep all 4 tires on the pavement the entire time. That minimize the chances of anything going wrong.
Well, you certainly did that one, and you're going to move up a bunch of places in the points here as well. So congratulations on that. Actually, could be close to being in the top 10 after this one here tonight. Congratulations on that. And before we let you go, make sure you do all those big sponsor plugs and thank yous.
Just to Sam for putting on just a great show to you guys. I've been rewatching the broadcasts, and they're just fantastic. The shows that you guys put on are really entertaining, really professional. I love watching them. I need to change the paint scheme a little bit because the sponsors on there kind of no longer exist. So that's yeah.
Well, shoot me a message here. We'll get you something done up here. But man, congratulations! Big win here for you tonight. And, man, looking forward to, I guess, enjoy the off week, and we'll see you back here for Martinsville. A little bit different challenge coming up in a couple weeks.
Oh, I'm really excited for Martinsville. Thank you.
I will absolutely take Braden Carroll as a teammate on Team NRN for the road courses.
We'll see. Well, maybe we can work that one out too. All right, Braden. Well, thank you much. We appreciate you coming to hang out with us here. Let's see. Who else do we have to talk to? We'll bring up our runner-up finisher tonight, Mr. Kevin Dick. And I'll tell you what, the car was good, but I don't think anybody was going to be in a class with Braden. So ultimately, best in class is not necessarily the worst night to have.
No, it's not. I mean, I had a nice clean race, didn't hit anything, didn't go off track. So to me, it's a win.
Yeah, especially with Johnny finishing back in the 8th position. You're going to close the gap up in points. I don't want to say cue the Jaws theme just yet, but 2 good stage runs tonight, finishing second. That's a lot of points you're picking up here, and you've still got a shot at winning this spring season championship.
Yeah, it's definitely a bonus for me, but I think this race might be his drop. And I don't know if he's had another bad race yet. I know I've had 2 bad ones. Well, not great, I guess, but just have to see what happens.
Yeah, I think this one will absolutely be his drop. But we'll see how this all shakes out here. But now what do you think here? We get a week off, then we head off to Martinsville and a 4-week blast to close out the spring season at 4 racetracks that, quite frankly, couldn't be more different from each other.
Well, I'm looking forward to Martinsville. It was good there last time, getting the win there. So see if we can kick it off with a win at Martinsville and get on a roll there.
All right, buddy. Well, congratulations on the podium finish here tonight. And before we let you go, do all those big sponsor plugs and thank yous.
Yeah, give a shout out to the guys at Pie-Eyed, me and Andrew, definitely putting up a fight this year. Give a shout out to Jordan and Sam for running this league, Custom Paints and Die Cast for painting great looking cars, and you guys up in the booth.
All right, buddy. Well, thank you much. We appreciate the kind words from you here. And, man, I'll tell you what, Bizzle, we expected a show, and that is exactly what we got. Before we totally get out of here, though, we have one more conversation I would like to have here tonight because, unfortunately, I don't think we're going to have third-place finisher Michael Larch available for an interview. But let's bring up A.J. Digby here to talk about his grandfather, John Brown, and tell us a little bit who he was. Obviously, very important to you and your development as a person. But we got a couple of pictures we're going to throw up here, and a pretty cool night that you put together here in his memory.
Yeah, first of all, I don't think enough words can be said about how great of a person he was and how great of a grandfather he was to me and all of us grandchildren. Him and Grandma watched a lot of my races, and I know my dad did as well. And I know that he took my dad to my dad's first ever NASCAR race. And now my dad's working for Goodyear in the NASCAR department, basically working with NASCAR. So he's been influential in a lot of our lives in a lot of different ways. And is just an all-around fantastic person. I can't really say much else. It's just, it obviously hurts not having him around anymore, but also knowing that we got as many years as we did, got as much time as we did with him was fantastic. So I felt like the right thing to do was to pick out a race that I knew I would enjoy and that I would enjoy driving and racing in, and this was the one that I circled as the one I wanted to sponsor. So did that in his honor, and all in all, the race went pretty well. Wish I would have been a little bit smarter. I'm gonna pull the typical NASCAR answer and blame that Ross Chastain was looking up my inside, and that's why I went off the track. But no, I mean, if I take out some of my mistakes, I know I could have been in the battle for a top 3, which is, I was looking in that 3 to 5 range probably for tonight. So upset a little bit with my result, but also at the same time fought back, battled back, and ended up putting the car in a pretty good position. Got some points, and like I said, wish I could have performed better, especially on a day like today. But I know that I did pretty well, and it was a pretty fantastic race throughout the field. There was battles everywhere, it felt like.
Yeah, we
that
had
was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun battling with you. Definitely, if you didn't make that mistake going through the chicane, you would have definitely got me. And it seemed like every time I made a mistake, blowing turn 1, you were right there behind me. Like, I made a mistake, you made a mistake. We were just trading back and forth. It was incredible. I was seeing red just trying to pull away from you.
Oh, did we lose AJ here?
No, I'm here.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, I'll tell you what, man. Fantastic show. I think we did justice for your grandfather. I hope you get to enjoy watching the show back here. And your teammates, they obviously had some fun with Johnny here tonight. So, man, all around, congratulations. This was you picked a heck of a show, and thanks for putting it on for us. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you very much for putting together that race graphic and everything else that you guys do up in the booth. I love watching these races back every week, and you guys do a really good job of covering the race, the field, all of the above. And so love watching them back, and thank you for everything with the help, and thanks for all the drivers for putting together a great race, and Patrick, you as well, for a pretty clean but great race.
Excuse me. All right, AJ, well, thank you much. Man, I'll tell you what, Bizzle, now we're going to have the week off for these guys, but the week is not over for us. Coming up tomorrow, a quadruple header of races here on the National Racing Network. Kicking things off with the Grand Prix legends, the Lotus 49s from Jerez over in Spain, Lotus 79s from the Hungaroring. Those races will air at 3:30 and 4:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Coming up at 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time will be the Indy Pro 2000s and the USF 2000s from the Brands Hatch Indy layout. I have been looking forward to that one for most of the season. And then we're going to close out the week with the Camel GT Happy Hour from Road America. That could be one of the best races we see all season long.
Yeah, I might have to call that one from work. I get off right as soon as we start that broadcast. I might go outside and sit in my truck and commentate that one. I'll take my headset with me.
I tell you what, that'll be fun. Looking forward to it. But with that, it is time for us to get the heck on out of here. It has been a long night. Can't believe it's already 10 of 11 here in the East. But
yeah, I am beat. These cars are a handful. I've never driven the Gen 7 before, and I picked the road course for some reason, like a masochist. So I am ready to go to bed. I am sore.
Yes, a long night, but I'll tell you what, it was a fun one. Fantastic show for the John Brown Memorial 150. Congratulations to Braden Carroll picking up the win, Kevin Dick, Michael Larch rounding out the podium. For Patrick Byrne and everybody here at the National Racing Network that makes these shows happen, my name is Chris Graham. I do truly appreciate y'all Thank you so much for those of you hanging out with us and watching along, and we will talk to you all tomorrow afternoon. Until then, have a great night, everybody.